I believe that self-discipline is the definition of self-love. That when you say that you love yourself, that means that you have behavior towards yourself that is loving. It's like you say to yourself, hey man, look, I know you want to eat that pizza and it'll be really good, but I can't let you eat that, man, because if you eat that pizza, you're going to feel like shit, and I love you too much to let you eat that. And I think the word discipline has kind of gotten a bad name. We think about it in terms of punishment. I'm not talking about discipline in that way. I'm talking about discipline in the sense that you forego immediate pleasure for the exchange of long-term self-respect. Self-love is, hey, look, I know you got a test on Monday, and I know you really want to go out with your friends. It's Saturday night, you want to go out, but if you fail that test, you're not going to feel good about yourself. I love you too much to let you go out tonight. Self-discipline is self-love. If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself, which means you have to discipline your behavior. The road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior.
You are not your past. You're you. You're you right now. Like the past you might have done some things you wish you hadn't done. Don't dwell on that. You learn from it, that's fine, but don't dwell on it. Just keep moving. Keep moving. Use it as fuel. Say never again. I get what I did wrong, but don't think that you're that person that made those mistakes. You're the person who's learned.
Right? If you're sitting at dinner with your friends and you're texting somebody who's not there, that's a problem. That's an addiction. If you're sitting in a meeting with people you're supposed to be listening to and speaking, and you put your phone on the table, face up or face down, I don't care, that sends a subconscious message to the room that you're just not that important to me right now. Right? That's what happens. And the fact that you cannot put it away is because you are addicted. Right? If you wake up and you check your phone before you say good morning to your girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouse, you have an addiction. And like all addiction, in time, it'll destroy relationships, it'll cost time, and it'll cost money, and it'll make your life worse.
Well, I have a friend who was not successful at all, but was really up and coming. And he had a thing. He would only fly first class. I'm not saying do this because for somebody it won't work, but he needed that mentally.
Right.
He wanted to fly first class because mentally he wanted to think he was the best, and that's it. And even though he didn't have much money at the time, this is years ago, he would always fly. I used to criticize him, but it put him in a good state of mind, and he became a very, very successful guy. Very, very successful. And I've always remembered that. He would never fly coach. He would always fly first class, even though he didn't have the means to fly. So, look, it's complicated, but whatever it takes to train that.
Never say, I can't afford it. My rich dad forbade his son and me to say the words, I can't. He says, ask yourself, how can I? The reason I have so much money is because I don't say I can't do it. I just go, how can I do it? And I just go and do it. So when I meet poor people, they use the words I can't a lot. So the people that say, I can't afford it, I can't do this, I can't get to college, the rich are evil, I choose not to participate in that.
When it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. And that I can't do.
I had to stop giving a fuck about people. That was the biggest thing. I had to stop caring what people thought about me. I realized that everybody's fucked up. That's the one thing I realized. I walked around and I put these people on a fucking pedestal. Everybody was better than me. So I can't tell you anything about me because you're going to judge me and I'm going to feel even worse than what I am. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their fucked up world better than you have. That's all they've done.
The difference between smart people know what they want and wise people know what they don't want. So I have a lot of smart people. It's difficult to deal with smart people. Very difficult. It's easy to deal with stupid people. You know, they go to the toilet, they go to the restaurant together. But smart people, it's all different. But what we need, a company is not a farm. My company is a zoo. We have all kinds of animals. People talk, people never talk, people work hard, people never work. I mean, this is amazing ecosystem of the company. That makes the company very, very powerful and colorful. I feel happy with that. And a leader is not to prove you are smarter than the others. A leader's job is to making sure everybody giving their smart ideas out.
Your best friend?
Me.
Really?
I got the best advice for me. I could talk to me about anything and I'll tell me the truth. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a best friend. I don't want someone who's gonna use me, or I don't want to use anyone else. Like, I'm self-sufficient. Yeah.
I put myself in a corner that either I'm going to die in the corner or I'm going to fight my way out. And you've been taught just the opposite. Plan B, C, D, whatever they are. Plan B is plan A again. Plan C is plan A again. Plan D is plan A again.
I love proving people wrong. Right. When I was telling niggas I'm gonna get a Grammy when I was, 19 years old, and people was like, you'll never do that, bro. I would like those tweets, because I know I'm gonna get one. I know I'm gonna get multiple. I know it, so I like them, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be ill when I get it, and I quote retweet this. And I did that. As soon as I got that Grammy, I was like, yay, my niggas, yo, P, my mom, like, cool. Can't wait to quote retweet that. Just for myself. It just feels like I love that shit. I love that shit. I love it. And they try to push you to the side and keep doing that. And it's like 10 years later, I'm still here, bro. My career has only been doing this.
Only been up.
It's niggas who was the hottest shit in 2012. Where the fuck they at right now? Niggas push me to the side and give me that nigga weird,
and we keep going,
and I'm fucking here right now. Right now. Skin glowing, pockets heavy, garage silly, house dumb. Looking for a lake house right now. Clancy my fucking witness. All my niggas good. Family good. Healthy.
I don't like to waste time on stupid conversation. There's no profit in that. So if I'm around people that are always complaining with no solutions, then I'm wasting real estate in my brain for what I need to project. And what I project in my brain is what I project in my reality. So that real estate only has to be for evolution, things that are going to help me get where I got to go. You understand? Help me evolve. So if my conversation with you makes me stagnate, we don't have too much conversation either. I don't have no time for no stupid ass conversations.
People are not listening to you. Stop talking to them. And that is the best piece of advice that I can give you. And what happens is that if you stop talking to people who aren't listening to you and start watching them instead, they will tell you what they're up to. But so if you have things to say, say them, but you find people that will listen, talk to them. The ones who aren't listening, pull back. Because you're devaluing what you have to say by offering it to an audience that does nothing but reject it.
When you truly have a vision for your future that inspires you, you're going to jump up out of bed in the morning and feel great about going at life versus being miserable and going to a job you hate or living a life that doesn't empower you and just, every day moving through just almost like an automaton, not really, having the zest and the greatness of life.
Whatever you want to do in life, find something that you don't mind doing for the rest of your life. Find something that you like. And even if it seems like it's impossible, it's very, very possible. So don't get nervous. If you have a big goal, just chip away at it until you get to where you need to be. I think that's what life is about. Truly finding yourself and then closing your eyes and dying in your sleep.
Proving your family wrong or right is a symptom of the same disease, which is you are still obsessed with what other people are thinking about you and not doing things that make you happy, that enrich you, that fulfill your soul. And so the irony about spending your life worrying about what everybody else thinks about you, here's the irony, is that those people will never be thought about after they're dead. So they spend their life obsessing with everyone thinks about them, only to die and have no one ever remember them. Because people that are so obsessed with what other people think about them never really ever fulfill their potential. So once you can drop that addiction, whether it's friends, strangers, or your parents, and you begin to do things that fulfill you, that make you happy, that change other people's lives by your contribution, now you can be remembered. Now your life echoes into eternity, even if it was a quiet life.
When I had my accident, I found out at that moment, nothing in life is promised except death. If you have the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment. A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past.
It doesn't matter where you are in life. It really doesn't. Because the great thing about life is it's always your next move. Your next move that counts, no matter where you are. Look, I was dead broke. My electric bill was being shut off. And there were people even like worse off than I was. It doesn't matter. You could change your life if you want to. It's always your next decision.
Always say less than necessary, law number 4. And it's the fact that by talking too much in a meeting or in any kind of situation, you make people inadvertently smell weakness on you. And what I'm trying to say in my book is a lot of, and I say it in my last book, a lot of communication between humans is nonverbal.
Sure.
We feel, we sense something from you, and it communicates, and we have an impression. And people who talk a lot generally give an impression of they don't know how to control themselves. They can't control, their
diarrhea of the mouth, so to speak.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Whereas people who kind of say a little bit less, who kind of speak in riddles almost, who say, yeah, that's great, I'll think about it or whatever, gives off an impression of power, as if they know more than they actually do. Because the game of power, a lot of it has to do with appearances.
My thing is, I don't have time to be angry. You know how much time it takes to hold an attitude and a grudge? That's time and energy. I don't have that time. The time that it takes you to go, I don't like that person, and keep that in you over a period of time, that's a lot of time that can be devoted to something positive. I choose positive because overall positive will always beat negative.
Well, Nelson Mandela said about that. He said, holding a grudge is like drinking poison and hoping it kills the other person.
One thing that discipline definitely does help you with is it helps you get things done. And when you get things done, when you actually do things, you have more success. And sometimes a big part of success is just not being fucking lazy and just doing it. Yeah. That's like 90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start working. Like, you're not going to feel perfect every day. If I only worked out when I felt good, I'd be a fat fuck. Because there's a lot of days I don't want to do it. It's pretty much the same with everybody that actually gets good at something. That there's got to be those days you push through. And they're probably going to be more numerous than the days you don't. And so the benefit of discipline in my eyes has always been that through discipline, I get things done. Yeah. I always say that I'm like the most lazy, disciplined person I know because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I always do.
Look at this pencil. We know that in order for it to become a useful pencil, that from time to time, again and again, it's going to have to go through a resharpening. Well, if this pencil could feel, we could imagine how painful that would be. But that's what it takes for it to be a useful pencil. Life is much the same. Painful experiences and challenges come to us all. But it is through these opportunities that we build character and we grow. Second is to keep in mind that we'll be able to correct many of the mistakes you make along the way, just like this eraser. So if we learn from our mistakes, they're not mistakes. They're lessons we can use to do better the next time around. And third, just like this pencil, every place where you are used, so to speak, you leave your mark. You're writing your own story. Think of stumbling blocks as stepping stones and never stop writing. And fourth, always remember, the most important part of you is what's inside.
The best people I know have a focus on the future and use their time in the present. They focus on the future and use their time in the present. Too many of you are focused in the past and are thinking all the time about the future, dreaming, and aren't taking advantage of the present. The present is a gift, and we need to treat it as such. The past is literally gone forever. And in many cases, it's a figment and a manipulation of our imagination. The future is grand and powerful, and we need to be focused there and thinking about it and dreaming about it because we are pulled towards it. But the best people can simultaneously be dreaming and optimistic about the future and take massive action right now. Most of the max out achievers I know in my life spend almost 0% of their time on the past.
I tell people all the time, commitment is what gets you to your dreams and your goals.
What advice would you give your younger self? Because you're successful. But
yes, I think don't be afraid to grow up. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to do the right thing. And in business, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, maybe you might need to cut off some people that's not worth it for your business or bad for your business, whether it's family members or friends. And I tell people all the time, you got to be able to sacrifice. You got to be able to start small. I started small in the film business. I got to hook up 2 to where it surpassed, I got to hook up 1. Because of technology. Don't be afraid to change with technology. Even in the shoe business, we got the Mayatis. We went from high fashion tennis shoes to be able to create a shoe that can compete with Nike, Adidas, and all of the bigger brands out there. And it took a couple of years, but you have to start. I tell people all the time, get into the game. You know, that's the only way.
How do I find the willpower to bounce back after I've lost it? It's temporary. And I think, you know, this idea of losing it, we all go through this. How do I bounce back? How do I find that willpower to bounce back? Here's what I like to do. I like to ground myself. I like to just take a moment, step away, find a quiet space and really think about what the issue is, try and identify what the issue is. But then what I try to do is make sure that I am remembering the important process. And that important process, when it comes to bouncing back, is remember that all progress, little or big, starts with me. So it starts with you, it starts with us. That first step back, that first rep we have to take. First step, first rep, right? So it all starts with us. It goes back to that old saying that it's you versus you. So I try to remember that all progress begins and ends with me and me taking action.
The key to life is running and reading. All right, now, why running? When you're running and you're out there and you're running, there's a little person that talks to you. And that little person says, oh, I'm tired. My lungs are about to pop. Oh, I'm so hurt. I'm so tired. There's no way I could possibly continue. And you want to quit, right? That person, if you learn how to defeat that person when you're running, you will learn how to not quit when things get hard in your life. Running, all right? That's the first key to life. The second key to life is reading. All right? The reason that reading is so important. There have been millions and billions and billions and gazillions of people that have lived before all of us. There's no new problem you could have with your parents, with school, with a bully, with anything. There's no problem you can have that someone hasn't already solved and wrote about it in a book. So the keys to life are running and reading.
First thing I would say is search for simplicity. Stay away from anything that makes a bunch of people stare at you while you're in a restaurant.
Okay.
Or makes them follow you in cars and motorcycles back to your hotel. Or try to avoid people who write incredibly, sometimes entertaining, but incredibly ludicrous fiction about you and your family. So those are a couple of things I would avoid. I'd probably also say, yeah, if anybody gives you any shit, just beat the fuck out of them.
Because most people just they're not willing to get up that early or to make those sacrifices required. So it's a function of how badly do you want to change your life and what are you willing to endure to craft that life that you aspire to have, or do you just want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean it's fucking miserable. It is miserable. I mean, to get up every day or 5 days a week, whatever, when it's snowing, shiny, not shiny, not comfortable, and to go in the gym and work out when you don't want to go to the gym, it is not fun. And for you to lose weight, for you to stop drinking, whatever the hell you're going through, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time, and a lot of pitfalls, a lot of plateaus. You're gonna hit so many fucking plateaus. If you don't know how to get around that plateau, it's not gonna happen fast.
When you have a dream, and the dream isn't something you dream and then it happens. The dream is something you never knew was going to come into your life. Dreams always come from behind you, not right between your eyes. It sneaks up on you. But when you have a dream, it doesn't often come at you screaming in your face, this is who you are. This is what you must be for the rest of your life. Sometimes a dream almost whispers. The hardest thing to listen to, your instincts, your human personal intuition, always whispers. It never shouts. Very hard to hear. So you have to, every day of your lives, be ready to hear what whispers in your ear. It very rarely shouts. And if you can listen to the whisper, and if it tickles your heart, and it's something you think you want to do for the rest of your life, then that is going to be what you do for the rest of your life, and we will benefit from everything you do.
The bottom line is, no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true.
I think I learned in life, you can never bring somebody up if you don't want to, if they don't want to go up. You can't. No matter how good you think you are, no matter how much you want to tell them, you can help them. If they don't want to go up, there's nothing you can do.
100%.
But the reverse is not true. Somebody bad could bring a good person down. Because the negativity in the world is much, much stronger than the positive sometimes. And the negative people can bring you down. So I stay away from negative people.
You're right.
I just walk away from them.
Every single motherfucker listening to this show has the potential to be great. You might not become the richest person in the world. Maybe that's not even what you want to become. But you have the ability to create a great life, create a great existence, contribute to the people around you, show them what's possible, which, by the way, is your fucking obligation on this earth. You're only here for a short time. If you're not going to show people what's possible, who the fuck else is?
Do you know what I want to achieve? Happiness. I want to be happy and I want to stay healthy. Because when you lose your happiness, your health declines. And when your health declines, game over.
So when boxing's over, you're going to train still?
Every
to
day,
keep fit?
for the rest of my life. Pumping that iron. I'm going to aim to be looking like The Rock. Just a 6'9" version of him. I wouldn't be alive today if I didn't change my life. I definitely wouldn't have made it.